Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of IUP Unpacked here, straight at the Soegijapranata Catholic University's International Undergraduate Program. I am Ali, your host who makes the dankest toast. I'm also your guide and your partner in vibe. I welcome you as we unpack stories, explore perspectives, and the real voices from our IUP fam. So let's ride. So let me introduce you to IUP Unpacked. What is IUP Unpacked? Well, think of it as your all-access pass into the student life at IUP. Whether you're a current student, maybe you're a future applicant or an alumni, or maybe you're just curious about what it's like to study in an international program here at SCU. This podcast is for you. And each episode will feature stories about the student life, study abroad experiences, cultural exchanges, and even sit down with our lecturers and alumni to hear where their journeys have taken them. Our goal is simple, to share authentic voices and show the world what makes IUP special. Okay, since this is our pilot episode, let me share a little bit about myself. Welcome, my full name is Cristiano Valerian Tarigan, which is a very long name, but you can just call me Ali. Who I am actually a student here at IUP, specifically in big data and AI, so technically I'm a computer science kid. In the first and second semester, my role here is sort of as the class president, although I was actually pretty undermined a lot of time, which is, whatever. And a fun fact about me, I'm a pretty quick learner. I'm pretty good at learning instruments, maybe learning languages, but that's a fun fact about me. I remember my very first day at IUP. No, not really, I actually don't. I actually don't remember my very first day at IUP. But I kind of remember the vibe of it. It was really weird. It was really nervous at the first time. It was really nerve-wracking. I didn't know the dynamics at the time of like how my friends were, how my lecturers were, how my professors were, but it was very fun. And a couple of weeks in, we have changed our dynamics to something a bit more casual. I even sometimes make nicknames for my friends and even some of my lecturers and professors. I also have some foreign students as friends as well, although we weren't really close. At the second semester, very first, second semester, and third semester, I get to meet a lot of foreign people, a lot of really cool people. Before them, I was kind of nervous to talk towards foreigners, but with the immersion in IUP, I was able to get to know a lot of foreigners without the prejudices I had before. These moments really shaped my journey and exactly the kind of stories we want to highlight here. But besides all of that, we have a lot of activities here at IUP, like the general ed, which is in the first, second semester. General education is sort of your introduction towards maybe the world. You get to know maybe sometimes wacky topics, but a lot of them are actually very useful. And I even sometimes use what the lecturers have said even today. And besides all of that, we also have excursions. We get to go to maybe, clothing vendors. We get to go to places where we can highlight maybe what's the problem is with them, and maybe we could talk about them in a general education sort of standpoint. And it's really fun. Not only we get to know the positive side of the world, we also get to see the negative side of the world, such as the excursion we had in Demak, for example. But our scope here is, of course, very much global. We don't only talk about the things around here at our beloved country of Indonesia. I really love this country, I really do. But besides that, we also go to see around the world and see what happens. For example, when me and my friends, went to Thailand, it was a very cool experience. I try to be nonchalant about it, really. But it was a really great, really exciting experience. There's a lot of culture shocks. Like, for example, did you know that even in the worst traffic jams you will ever see, I'm talking about left and right, you see cars, maybe you see some tuk-tuks, there will never be a single person who will honk. It was such an amazing experience, especially in Indonesia. Everyone's really rowdy, everyone's really loud, everyone's honking at the time, they're driving like they're nuts or something. But in Thailand, everything is a bit cleaner. I don't know, everything was just so much nicer, it was much quieter, and it was really fun going to Thailand. There were some, I would say, more promiscuous experiences. Like, I would say a friend of mine, I'm not gonna say who, but a friend of mine, let's say he bought a little bit too much liquor. Oh my god, Thailand was, I gotta say, really exciting. Although I don't always see the positive side, I also see the negative side. Like, for example, I remember being with a friend of mine His name is Mike. Let's just call him Mike. My boy, Mike. We were at a 7-Eleven. As usual, we were in Thailand. Of course, we were at a 7-Eleven, and it started raining, which is fine. It was fine if you have an umbrella, which I didn't. It was really a stupid choice of mine. But after we got out of the 7-Eleven, we talked to ourselves, what are we going to do? How are we going to go back, get back to our motel at the time? And I said, you know what? Let's use a tuk-tuk. All right, let's go see the tuk-tuk nearby. We went to it. We went to our motel. And because I was frustrated. I was nervous. I paid much more than I had to the tuk-tuk man, to the tuk-tuk vendor. I paid, what was it, about 100 bahts? I think so. I was thinking 100 bahts. I could have just given it to Mike and let him pay instead, in which he's very good at talking to people. And it was such a stupid choice of mine. I don't know what I did. I spent too much. I felt like I was scammed. And that's what's exciting about, IUP, with going to the excursions and going abroad, checking other people and stuff. There's loads of things you can do at IUP, you know what I mean? The general education and the excursions, and again, those trips. It's a really fun place. If you're excited about this kind of stuff, if you're, for example, even if you're not good at English, which is totally fine. If you're just an extroverted person who wants to meet people from other places in the world, IUP is probably the best place for you. Okay, so quick introduction to IUP SU. For those who might be new to SU, to my beloved university and IUP, here's a little background. So the International Undergraduate Program at SU is all about combining academic excellence with international exposure. Classes, totally all of it in English. We welcome students from different countries, and the best part, we also encourage students to experience study abroad opportunities and partner universities. And if you think your English is not that great, it is totally fine. We provide you with anything such as maybe immersion, and because the classes are all in English, it is a great time for you to experience and maybe learn maybe other verbs you didn't know, maybe other phrases, or maybe just joke around with your friends. We even provide classes outside of your general education class or your main classes to provide you with training in English if you like it or not. But IUP ain't just about books and grades. It's also about building a community, one that's diverse, supportive, and of course globally connected. So, what is next? I'm glad you asked. In upcoming episodes of IUP Unpacked, you can look forward to hearing things such as, number one, student life diaries. What's it really like to be a student here in IUP? And of course, study abroad stories from who's been there. We might have a couple of guests that might fit this segment. Faculty talks where lecturers share their perspectives. Alumni spotlights to see where life after IUP can take you. And loads of tips for navigating both academic and cultural life. We'll also bring in guests from partner universities and feature some live episodes during big IUP events. Okay guys and gals, if you're listening and you're part of the IUP family, we'd love to feature your story, so reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook at iup.su, or send us an email at iup@unica.ac.id. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to subscribe to our IUP Unpacked on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast. That way you won't miss a single story. Thank you so much for tuning in the very first episode of IUP Unpacked. This is merely the beginning, and we cannot wait to unpack more stories and more voices with you. Until next time, I'm Ali, and this has been IUP Unpacked, signing out.